This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Come in, ma'am.
Come.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ananya. Please sit down.
Good afternoon, sir.
Come, please sit down.
Thank you.
So, how are you, Ananya?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. You have a month to go, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And have you done some other mocks also?
Ma'am, 3, 4 before this.
Okay. And you plan to do more?
Yes, ma'am.
You live here or you've come here for the interview?
Ma'am, I have come here for
You
the interview.
stay till the interview or
Yes.
you'll go back just now?
Ma'am, I'll go back and then I'll come again.
Okay. All right. So, your father is in chemistry and you followed in his traditions. Okay, we'll come to that. So, you have Karnal and Hisar both on your DAF, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So, shall we look at the easy one first? So, what is Karnal's claim to fame? Historically and in today? Just a sentence.
Ma'am, Karnal is known historically for the Battle of Karnal, which happened in 1739 between Nadir Shah and Muhammad Shah. And today, ma'am, politically, it is famous because it is the CM city. And secondly, it is also one of the smart cities of Haryana.
Okay, very good. And otherwise, what else is it known for, Karnal?
Ma'am, Karnal has also been known for giving India its first woman in space, Kalpana Chawla.
What about more mundane? What about cattle?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is the most milk yield breed? That was asked in my prelims. I still remember it. I answered it wrong. Which is it?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not aware about this.
Have you heard of the Shahiwal?
Sahiwal, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Now let's come to Hisar.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a few things about Hisar.
Historically, ma'am, Hisar was established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and its full name was Hisar-e-Firoza.
Okay, next.
Secondly, ma'am, it is also known for Indus Valley civilization site Rakhi Ghadi.
And other sites too?
Ma'am, there is another in a nearby district of Fatehbad, Banawali.
There are others near Rakhi Ghadi. Anyway, what else?
Ma'am, and today it is also famous for large number of educational institutions.
Does it have any association with Prithviraj Chauhan?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not aware about it.
Or Ashoka? No?
Ma'am, Hisar is also known as a Buddhist center. It has Agroha, which has various viharas and chaityas.
Okay.
Therefore.
All right. And what is it important for? I mean, what is? Okay, shall we say it is it in NCR? Is it not in NCR? Hisar.
Ma'am, I believe it is not in NCR.
It is not. It is actually.
Sorry, ma'am.
How many states are covered under NCR?
Ma'am, may I take a few seconds?
Sure.
Ma'am, there are 3 states: Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan.
And how many districts and how many cities? Any idea?
Ma'am, I'm not completely aware about total number of cities.
You know from Haryana how many are there?
Yes, ma'am. 14 districts, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And what was the concept of NCR, if you will say in one sentence?
Ma'am, National Capital Region is the region surrounding Delhi and its districts.
What is the concept? Why was it set up?
Ma'am, I'm not very sure about the specific reason.
Decongest Delhi, set up counter magnets.
Yes, ma'am. Satellite states.
All right. Okay. Now, as district magistrate, how will you use your strength, your subject of chemistry? Because you've done chemistry and you'll tell us how helpful it will be in your career, etc. So I'm asking as DM, how will you use chemistry?
Ma'am, throughout my academic background, I have learned 2 major things from chemistry. First is the non-academic part, which is the qualities of hard work, dedication, and commitment.
I didn't ask you that question. I didn't ask you that.
Okay.
I did not ask you what you will bring to the table, etc. I'm asking you how will you use chemistry as a district magistrate?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, chemistry has wide number of uses in administration. First, in agricultural field. For example, fertilizers. Ma'am, today we have been beginning with creation
To the point.
Okay, ma'am. First, in agriculture, that is fertilizers. Second, in textile industry, in dyeing of the textile.
As DM, you need all these? I asked as district magistrate.
Ma'am, as a district magistrate.
You have to think, not what you have learnt by rote. Think and tell.
Okay.
This is a question of thinking, not of what you learnt already and I have these qualities from chemistry. Chemistry has these uses. I'll come to that. But
May I take few seconds?
yes, you can take. Certainly, you have to think.
Ma'am, few things come to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
First,
You can say only 3 things in 3 sentences, that's all.
Ma'am, first, being a district magistrate, I'm responsible for the upkeep of my city, and therefore I would be responsible in maintaining the pollution level at my district by using chemistry.
Good. Not directly so, but a good thinking. Yes, what else?
Secondly, ma'am, in using various, if my district is a mineral-rich district, I would also be responsible for maintaining the balance between economic and the environmental concerns. Thirdly, ma'am, sorry, ma'am, I'm not able.
Okay, fair enough. Now, what is wrong with our basic chemical industry? What has happened? Second question after that is, what can be done to set it right? Third question is, let's do these 2 only for the time being. What is wrong and what can be done to set it right?
Ma'am, in case of chemical industries, we have been facing competition from China, especially in terms of APIs, the APIs in medicines.
Let's leave APIs out of it just now. I'll come to that later.
Okay, ma'am.
It's not a chemical industry thing, but chemical is a raw material for that. Okay. So what is wrong with our basic chemical? You're on the right track, but just think and reply.
Ma'am, regarding the progress of chemical industry, we have not been able to maintain a fine balance between environmental concerns and the economic concerns. And there have been large number of chemical industries causing pollution in the water body as well as in the land. So that needs to be checked. And regarding the reforms, ma'am, we need to have the companies responsible for creating pollutions, even though they keep on lingering the issue because of high economic concerns associated with it. Yet, ma'am, we need a regulation of the chemical industry. So
what is our NGT doing? It's sleeping. There's a special tribunal set up for cases, fast-tracking cases.
Yes,
and we already have the laws in place, this effluent, that effluent, we have the pollution control boards. It's all sleeping. What is happening? Or they all bought out? What's the problem?
Ma'am, they are working, yet the results are not up to the mark. We have been seeing cases of the violation of the rules, and the implementation part is missing.
Okay, what can be done to improve it?
Ma'am, first setting...
Revive the industry, to revive the chemical industry.
Ma'am, first is we need a policy right from the very start.
What should the policy have? Content. Let's get to the point straight.
Okay. Ma'am, the policy needs to take into account what sort of chemicals are being used in different sectors of the chemical industry. And we need to have the case-to-case basis policy. For example, ma'am, in the case of fertilizer industry, we need to take into account that what pollution each of the raw materials.
My question was basic chemicals. You have to listen to the question carefully and not answer what you prepared. Basic chemicals. Do you know what are basic chemicals?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea how to answer that?
Sorry, ma'am, I don't have
okay. I mean, you've got ideas, certainly, but the question, okay. You were talking about APIs.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is the issue of APIs? First of all, what is API? Can you tell me the full form of it?
Ma'am, it's active pharmaceutical ingredient.
Very good, very good. So, what is the problem of APIs?
Ma'am, India has been facing large competition from China.
There are large number of... So why are we not able to handle that? What's the problem? We have cheaper labor, yes. We have lax pollution norms. All these things drive the prices of Chinese products up. So we should be more competitive in our own market.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is really the problem?
Ma'am, I believe that technology is the problem.
What technology? What is the high-tech part of API preparation?
Ma'am, we need certain procedures which require less number of steps in organic synthesis.
For example, tell us which.
Ma'am, for example,
let me tell us in the preparation of paracetamol. Paracetamol, what are the steps? Or vitamin C. These are all imported. So tell us. You want to do examples? Let's look at these examples. What steps and what procedures?
Ma'am, regarding paracetamol, Ma'am, I'm not very aware about the API.
So then let us not look into that.
Okay.
Okay. What is the importance of Mauritius to India?
Ma'am, Mauritius holds strategic importance for India. It lies at a closer boundary with, at a closer territory. It's a closer territory to India. And
how far is it from India?
Ma'am, I'm not aware about the
closer territory.
And ma'am, also in terms of diaspora, there are a large number of diaspora in Mauritius.
So recently there's some development vis-a-vis Mauritius in India. What is that?
May I take few seconds?
Okay, sure.
Ma'am, recently the prime ministers of both the countries have inaugurated. Ma'am, I'm not able to recall what was that.
Okay, all right. Last question. The Supreme Court is coming up with a lot of landmark judgments.
Yes,
one judgment is on electoral bonds. One judgment is on 370. Yes, I want you to see how you can go to the heart of a matter very succinctly, to the point, crisply. So on the electoral bonds, what is it that the Supreme Court has done? And you allowed only 3 sentences. At the third sentence, I'll stop you. So too on 370, what has it done? What's the heart of his reasoning? 3 sentences again, exactly 3 sentences. So measure your sentences.
May I take few seconds?
Yes, you can. Certainly, you have to think.
Ma'am, regarding the electoral bond judgment, firstly, the Supreme Court has held that substantive democracy must be upheld. Secondly,
one sentence.
Secondly, ma'am, the political parties are responsible. Accountability and transparency must be maintained. And thirdly, the vote, that is the one vote, one person, one value principle should be upheld.
Now 370.
Ma'am, regarding 370, Jammu Kashmir is an integral part of India, and its integration has been following through since independence.
Instrument of accession.
Yes, ma'am. Via instrument of accession.
Specific, yes. Is irrevocable. Then
Yes,
what else?
Secondly, ma'am, the exception given to Jammu and Kashmir was a temporary measure, as is also mentioned in the constitution. And thirdly, ma'am, the Jammu Kashmir holds a significant. Sorry, ma'am, I will not be able to.
Thanks. Please go.
Ananya, right?
Yes, sir.
So, right now you are working?
Sir, I am undergoing training.
Okay. So, for what role you are undertaking training?
Sir, I am placed under the sub-department of excise and taxation, under the excise sub-department.
Excise.
Yes.
Okay. So, right now you are under office of DETC excise. What is the DETC?
Sir, it's Deputy Excise and Taxation Commissioner.
Commissioner. Okay. Okay, so you deal with taxation, right?
Sir, regarding the taxation on alcohol for human consumption, excise department deals with that.
Taxation on?
On alcohol for human consumption.
Alcohol.
Liquors.
Only on alcohol.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's it. So, see, there are 2 types of taxes. One is direct tax. So, what is the difference between direct tax and indirect tax?
So, direct and indirect tax differs on the basis of the liability of the taxation, on which the liability of the taxation lies. For the direct tax, the liability of payment of tax lies on the person on which it is levied, while on the indirect tax, the burden can be transferred to another person.
Another person means?
Another person or entity. For example, sir, in direct tax, the personal income tax is the direct tax, wherein...
What are the various types of direct tax?
Sir, 3 types of... first is personal income tax, second corporate income tax, and third is the STT, the security transaction tax.
So, what is the major contributor of among all the 3?
So, previously, both the corporate tax and the personal income tax holded equal amount, but recently, sir, we have seen that personal income tax has exceeded the corporate tax in the recently
So,
released.
then don't you think we have this distorted taxation? Because the most of the money it should be with the corporate, it is with the corporates, right? So, corporate tax must be higher.
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe that the higher share of personal income tax has been because of improvement in the system for collection. For example, the direct tax department has utilized the technology for getting more amount of personal income tax. Similar reforms could be done in corporate income tax so that the tax evasion is avoided.
So you think that there is a lack of reforms in this corporate tax regime?
So there is a need for improvement.
How? What are the lapses right now?
So we have seen recently in various the leaks which have occurred in newspapers that many of the corporates have their properties in tax havens, and because of that they have been evading taxes, and therefore, sir, we need reforms.
So what are the reforms like? What needs to be done then?
So one of the measure is BEPS, the base erosion and taxation system, that minimum taxation should be introduced across the countries so that the corporates do not have tax evasion. And secondly, sir, the bilateral agreements with the countries, like those in Caribbean Sea or in tax havens, which can help India regulate these corporates.
Yes, all those things are happening.
Yes, sir.
But so far in the black money war, we have not achieved that the point where we wanted. What is the major reason?
Sir, I believe the implementation part is missing. We have.
Don't you think lack of political will is there?
Sir, at some level it may be, but major part is the implementation level.
What is the implementation?
So, for example, the personal income tax has seen increase because of use of technology. Like the trail of the taxation was established. Similar could be established in corporate sector using blockchain technology, and similar trail could be established, sir.
So that is what I am asking. So there must be some reason, right? They are not doing it.
Yes, sir.
So what is that reason? Do you think that is lack of political will, lack of political and bureaucratic will?
So I would say lack of will at the administrative level. For example, sir, there are certain countries
There
like.
is no lack at the political level.
So there is, and we need improvement at that level too, sir.
Okay. Okay. So coming to this excise policy, Haryana has the state excise policy.
Yes, sir.
What are the provisions of that state excise policy? Important provision.
So firstly, the Haryana state has recently introduced the track and trace system, wherein the QR and the barcode would be introduced on the cases as well as on the bottles, so that the tracking of the liquor is established. Secondly, sir, there are high penalties on violating the laws, including that of short quota as well as for exceeding that quota.
But there is blatant violation of this Supreme Court ruling in Haryana. There are so many excise, this liquor shops all over the roads. But do you think that is a violation of the Supreme Court ruling?
Sir, initially the Supreme Court held that the liquor vend should not be allowed within a distance of 500 meters from the national highway. So, however, afterward there were certain relaxations given, and post that Haryana government has been doing enough to maintain that no illegal vends come up. So, at present, sir, during the course of my training, I have seen large number of illegal vends being curbed down, and we have attained great progress, sir, in this regard.
Okay. Okay. So. So as a law enforcement officer and you are a woman, so what are the challenges you are foreseeing in implementing the excise policy and general enforcement?
So generally this liquor policy deals with the licensees, and being a woman, and there are only a small number of women in the excise department, which I have seen from my experience. And so visiting the place, which is often having some hostile environment towards women, is the first challenge which I witnessed. Secondly, sir, since liquor is not majorly consumed by women, and therefore, sir, regarding learning about what sort of liquors are there and what taxes are implemented, I face challenge at that level too.
That's it. No other challenge?
So I have not witnessed other challenge till now, sir.
Okay. And Haryana is also infamous for this Khap Panchayats, right?
Yes.
So what is your view on that?
So Khap Panchayats were declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So, although the decisions taken by Khap Panchayats at times violate the basic law of the land, however, sir, of late we have seen Khaps have been doing great in maintaining the community harmony. For example, sir, recently Nuhu had seen a violence, and we have seen various resolutions passed by Khaps maintaining social harmony, and they have been acting as a deterrent towards these incidents.
Do you know the concept of community policing?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So community policing deals with that the community will act on certain incidents which may not be social enough, that is against the anti-social elements. And
Any example of community policing can you give?
sorry, sir, I'm.
Ananya, when was Punjab and Haryana bifurcated?
Ma'am, on 1st of November 1966.
1966. Now, when we compare Punjab and Haryana, which state do you think has progressed more? Has Haryana progressed as much as it should have?
Ma'am, there are different fields in which both the states have done well. In terms of agriculture, I would say both Punjab and Haryana are giving competition to each other. In terms of industrial investments, I would say that Haryana has been better as compared to Punjab. And secondly, ma'am, in terms of the growth of social capital, Haryana has been doing better. And in terms of
social capital, explain. What is social capital?
Ma'am, for example, maintaining relations between different community members. Ma'am, we have seen that recently Punjab has held various protests, which was a very controversial issue, Khalistani issue. So the law and order maintenance at Punjab level had been need improvement.
Okay. Now, you've been a volunteer in NSS, volunteer in digital literacy.
Yes, ma'am.
What is digital literacy?
Ma'am, digital literacy means having knowledge about working of digital devices together with maintaining the digital hygiene.
Can you tell me 3 pillars of promoting digital literacy? 3 important aspects for digital literacy.
Ma'am, first is knowing about the device or the app which we are going to use. Secondly, knowing about the hazards of that device or the app.
So, is digital literacy tied to knowledge of devices and apps?
Sorry, ma'am, I have limited information.
Okay. Government has Digital India Mission.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the objective of Digital India Mission?
Ma'am, it has 9 pillars, including that of creating digital highways, improving jobs in IT, and providing the public facility of Wi-Fi throughout India and others. And Digital India aims to create a knowledge economy in India and to provide the people the improvements in the advanced field of digital technologies.
You like solving Sudoku. What is Sudoku?
Ma'am, Sudoku is a mathematical puzzle which involves filling out rows and columns together with the block in a 9x9 classic Sudoku without repeating any of the digit.
Okay. Now, how long do you take in solving Sudoku?
Ma'am, I'm not an expert, so I take nearly 7 to 8 minutes.
For easy to hard, any?
Ma'am, for easy it takes 5 minutes. For the medium and the hard, it takes more than 7-8 minutes.
Okay. Now, sir was asking you a question on Khap Panchayat.
Yes,
so you mentioned that in the recent times they have taken they have a different stance. So, in your opinion, does that, so they should be there, Khap Panchayats? What is your opinion? Again.
Ma'am, I believe that Khap Panchayat should be there where there is a lacuna where there is a gap in maintaining law and order situation, but they should not enter into the field where already a constitutional mandate or law exists.
But they have in the past several times done that in form of honor killing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what measures are being taken to ensure that this does not happen again?
Ma'am, firstly, the people involved in this heinous crime are being punished by the Honorable Court. Secondly, ma'am, Haryana government has been promoting various schemes, including that of 𝐂𝐨𝐮𝐬𝐞 Yojana, which is promoting intercaste marriages so that an atmosphere of social harmony is maintained.
Okay.
And thirdly, ma'am, the people are now getting even aware that these are unconstitutional things and they are raising voice against them.
Okay. Now, Haryana has been lagging behind in indicators in the context of women.
Yes,
Social indicators in the context of women. If you get selected and you are the DM of a backward district of Haryana, what measures would you take for women empowerment?
Ma'am, the three measures which has come to my mind. First is in terms of educational empowerment, providing them infrastructure at the secondary level, secondary school level, in terms of toilets. Secondly, ma'am, providing them financial independence by promoting entrepreneurship among women. And third is providing them better health facilities and providing them an opportunity so that their decision making is at their own level rather than at the familial level.
Now, even if you provide all these measures, you provide schools, or you provide toilets in schools, you provide financial independence, they will not work unless we deal with patriarchy.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is the root problem? It's the patriarchy.
Yes, ma'am. It is.
So, how will you overcome the patriarchal mindset?
Ma'am, we need the sensitization of the families in general and the man in particular. For example, ma'am, there is a he for she campaign which takes into account the contribution and the role of man in promoting gender equality. So such kind of campaigns could be promoted. Thank you.
Hello, Ananya.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What is the meaning of Ananya?
So Ananya is a Sanskrit word derived from two different words, an plus anya, which means having no other than, or in English meaning unique. It also derives its mythological significance from, it is mentioned by Lord Krishna to Arjuna that you are my Ananya Bhakt, that is having no other worshipper.
All right. So, have you found anyone who is, just like you?
Sir, I have not found a namesake and having similar qualities, but I can mention one, sir.
Okay. So, as far as the acid attacks is concerned, the women,
Yes, sir.
is there any law related to this acid attack?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall the specific law regarding acid attacks, but it is covered under IPC sections, certain IPC sections, sir.
Okay. Is there any law related to the sale of acids? Because I have seen in the lanes of Delhi that there are many acid vendors who are, selling acid without any, curb or without any hassle.
Sir, I'm not aware about the specific law, but recently we have seen that government has introduced regulations regarding sale of acids on the e-commerce sites. There was an incident after which the government took this step.
All right. And which acid is often used in, these kind of incidents?
Sir, it is sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid, concentrated or dilute?
Sir, it's concentrated.
How much concentrated?
Sir, percentage I'm not aware of.
All right. So there was an issue related to ethylene glycol.
Yes, sir.
What was this issue related to this acid, this chemical?
So ethylene glycol is used as a base in the medical industry in creating cough syrups.
All right.
And there was an issue in which spurious cough syrup were created and led to many deaths in many other countries where the cough syrup were exported.
Which country?
So first is a country in Africa, so the name I'm not aware. And another was in Uzbekistan also.
And apart from this, in cough syrups, where else ethylene glycol is used?
Sir, it is used as an antifreeze agent in the vehicles.
In the vehicles.
Yes.
And what is the use of antifreeze this agent?
Sir, it does not allow the freezing of the fuel. It decreases the melting point.
Okay, how much?
So specifically, I'm not.
All right. Okay. So you have done your graduation from Kurukshetra University. In Kurukshetra, it is often said that the soil is red. Is it true?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about this specific fact.
Okay. All right. So there is a pH of the soil based on which the soil is, categorized in acidic and basic soil. You are a chemistry student. So can you tell me that without using any kind of measurement of the pH, just by looking at the color of the soil, can you tell me whether it is acidic or basic?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about this specific fact.
Okay.
I'll have to
You are not aware of what is acidic soil and basic soil?
Sir, I'm aware that pH less than 6 is
No,
treated as-
that is not. I mean, which soil, apart from the pH, which soil is considered as the acidic soil? What are the constituents of acidic soil?
Sir, acidic soil would include a higher amount of iron,
Iron or silica?
silica, and silica also, sir. Silica SiO2.
Okay. Okay. So you are, expert in designing henna mehendi art. Can you tell me in henna or mehendi, which specific chemical is found which give the orange red color to mehendi after just applied on the palm?
So, henna contains a chemical called lawson,
Mhm.
which reacts with the keratin present in the skin,
Okay.
and it later gives the stain of red-orange color.
Okay. Right. Okay. My last question is, the Nobel Prize was given in the chemistry for the quantum dots.
Yes, sir.
What are the quantum dots and where are they used?
So, quantum dots are based on the principle of quantization, and they are used in LEDs and in also certain kinds of electrical equipments which are now being advanced.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ananya.
Thank you.
Formal interview over. Please step out. We'll call you for feedback. So, when you come,
Yes.
you don't have to say wish everyone.
Okay.
You greet the chair,
Okay.
and you greet if there's a lady. If the chair is a lady, then you say good morning, good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. That's it. And just sweep your look around. That's it.
Sure.
And if the chair is a man, you say good afternoon, sir. And if there's a lady on the board, good afternoon, ma'am. That's it. First of all, you come across a very sweet, very pleasant person. You come across as a person that the board will want to select. But you have to enable them to select also with certain. And what you've learned, it doesn't mean that you will just reproduce it.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to answer the question. As I'll say, oh, rat ke aaye. You have to answer the question, apply what you've learned, and don't have the temptation to say everything you've learned.
Okay, ma'am.
Because it's going to be, they're busy people. They have how many candidates? They'll have 16 candidates or something.
Yes.
So they can't spend too much time on one candidate. They'll be impatient, they'll be tired. If you're not to the point, they'll just mentally switch off and they'll say, oh, isko to aata nahi hai.